Hey everyone. Oh, that didn't take long. Trudeau's out there once again, painting the target. And that target is you, if you're unvaccinated, if you haven't bent the knee. Headline on the CBC News, Politics. Trudeau says Canadians are angry and frustrated with the unvaccinated. PM's comments come after President Macron vowed to pressure France's vaccine holdouts. It's reported by Peter Zimonjic, January 5th, 2022. With the Omicron-driven pandemic wave sweeping the country, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Canadians are growing more angry and frustrated with people who still refuse to get vaccinated. Are they doing that all on their own, Trudeau? Or are they possibly doing that because you and your minions of media mouthpieces out there have been busy labeling the unvaccinated as extremists, racist, misogynist, or other derogatory terms, and whipping up the division and frenzy as a means to get clicks and generate revenue while taking their own ideological stance? I wonder, could that have anything to do with it? Trudeau said that while most Canadians have stepped up to get their shots, putting Canada near the top of the list of countries with the highest vaccination rates, the unvaccinated remain a problem. And how are the unvaccinated a problem? This is the part I've never heard anyone explain to me yet in a logically consistent way. How am I, an unvaccinated person, a threat to someone who's actually vaccinated? I mean, first of all, you have to conjure up us even being in close proximity, for crying out loud, before that takes place. And that's just the very beginning. That's not even taking into account all the other factors that would have to be taken into account to make that thought process even remotely something viable. I mean, wouldn't a person have to at least have COVID to be a threat or pose a threat to anybody? Yeah, I would suggest. Or does Trudeau actually believe that everyone who's unvaccinated has the most deadliest form of COVID-19 and is what? Out there targeting the aged, the elderly, and the vulnerable? I mean, really, I mean, the kind of stuff you have to dream up in your head to make this kind of rhetoric stick is like I say, well, I will admit, and I've said this on multiple occasions, the left, what's deemed the political left, a lot of these people are great storytellers, great deceivers, great liars, great actors even. They have an uncanny ability to be very deceptive, convincingly so. Let me just point this out. If you're worried for your health, it is your personal responsibility to take care of yourself and to protect yourself. That means you isolate, you quarantine yourself, you lock yourself in. That's not my responsibility. Or if you have someone that you're worried about that's immunocompromised or highly vulnerable, once again, they are the ones you need to protect and be concerned with. Not healthy individuals like myself, just because I didn't want to take a jab. It's not just about governments and health workers frustrated that there are Canadians who still continue to choose to not get vaccinated. It's fellow Canadians as well, he said. Well, aren't they all Canadians at the end of the day, Trudeau? When people are seeing cancer treatments and elective surgeries put off because beds are filled with people who choose to not get vaccinated, they're frustrated. I'd like to see the evidence for this. I've yet to see any evidence for that either, of all these unvaccinated people who are filling up the hospitals, right? I mean, we definitely know that there's lots of people who are getting tested and being included in the admissions, which is a complete farce.
I wanted to get your reactions on the incredibly sharp rise in cases we've seen over the past weeks.
Yeah, I think we have different narratives in terms of whether we need to worry about this or not. Mm-hmm. A lot of the people who are testing positive, of course, are not sick. And this is an incredibly important message to get through. What we have right now is a very high number of positive PCR tests, but the hospitalization rate actually is fairly flat, as is our ICU rate. And again, it's what the expectations are. And so I think for the province, one of the things we need to start reporting really accurately is whether or not people are being admitted because of COVID or just with a positive test, because of course everybody gets screened. Anybody with screen positive is reported as an admission.
Yeah, check my video just the other day regarding that. But where are these unvaccinated people who are filling up hospitals? And never mind that. Even if they are, well, then increase hospital capacity because Canadians are forced to pay for that garbage system, right? That's the thing. They force you into these crappy ass systems that are weak, already massively weak, understaffed, overly bureaucratic. I mean, it's a government program. It's a government boondoggle. I mean, they've had almost 2 years now to build increased capacity. And in reality, it's not even so much that there's a massive need for increased capacity. As we all know at this point in time, that a lot of these cancellations are a consequence of them being so short-staffed. And there's a multitudes of reasons why that's happening, and it's all a direct consequence and result of big government policy and initiatives. They're the ones that are causing these backlogs, not the unvaccinated. When people see that we are in lockdowns or serious public health restrictions right now because of the risk posed to all of us by unvaccinated people, people get angry. There he is, trying to stoke up that division, get that anger ramped up, right? Get Canadians mad at the unwashed, the unvaxxed. I mean, look at him. Look at this guy. At this point, I mean, come on, Trudeau. You've tried the no facial hair, the full beard and mustache. I mean, come on, just go full out now. You might as well just get a little tiny little mustache. And when you're out there doing these speeches, you should be pounding the pulpit a little more. According to CBC's vaccine tracker, almost 87% of Canadians aged 5 and older had at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine, while 80.6% are fully vaccinated. So all the way, and this is going all the way down to 5-year-olds. 87% have had at least one vaccine. And a full 80% now have had 2 doses. And yet, for some reason, things are massively worse now, apparently, than they have been for the past over a year and a half. Gee, I wonder why that is. Could it possibly be that maybe these folks don't know what they're doing or are doing the wrong things? Maybe their anger, maybe their frustration, maybe their hatred of the other is clouding their judgment. Like I say, folks, people like Trudeau, they're projecting. While those rates are high, Trudeau said the record case numbers being driven by the Omicron variant are leading to more hospitalizations and forcing cancelizations of elective surgeries, putting Canadians' health at risk. And we also know, once again, and this is not me targeting the vaccinated, I'm just pointing out reality, is yeah, it is the vaccinated who are very much responsible, not just unvaccinated too, but nobody's off the hook here, folks, in terms of spreading the Omicron variant. So when you see someone targeting some people and not the others, you know that's being done for political or ideological purposes. It's definitely not based on science or facts. Anyways, I just want to read one more portion of this, then I'm moving on to the next one. Trudeau made his comments after French President Emmanuel Macron said that his own frustration with vaccine holdouts has led to legislation designed to piss off the unvaccinated. Well, at the very least, I can say that Macron, the French president, is at least more courageous, much more so than his Canadian counterpart in Trudeau. At least Macron is willing to admit that he's doing these things just to piss off the unvaccinated. Trudeau, he'll still play these political games and lie straight through his teeth while looking Canadians in the eyes. Like I say, a man like that, someone that weak, but with a tremendous amount of power at his disposal, is very dangerous. Trudeau seems to be hell-bent on tearing this country apart. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.